Welcome back to another episode of Tig's Bits. And man, oh man, is this a good one. Look, it isn't every day that you get to be a tiny little part of a fun, exciting, and delicious product launch, but here we are. My good buddy JD Marsh is back on to talk barbecue, how his competition team and catering business got started, and the debut of something I believe everyone listening is going to want to get their hands on. Alex Bregman's Breggy Bomb BBQ sauce and rubs. JD takes us from the beginning of their business, J, all the way through to how they became involved with the Breggy Bomb brand, which launches on July the 2nd. So sit back, enjoy, and listen to this amazing small business success story. So let's start with, tell me about your barbecue business. How did you get started? Where did this begin?
All right, I'll start by telling you everything I'm involved in, and we can go from there. So, co-owner of J Texas Pit Barbecue, which is a catering company and competition barbecue team. Co-owner of J Sauce and Spice Company, which we produce sauces and rubs. And co-owner as well with LSU's very own Alex Bregman in the Breggy Bomb line. In the Breggy Bomb line of he has sauces, and now we're coming out with a line of barbecue sauces and rubs. So 2007 maybe, definitely before I had kids, we'd moved up to the Houston area. I had a friend I grew up with that had moved up here also. Me and him, a couple bored guys looking for something to do, didn't have kids. We started doing chili contests, chili competitions. Just a 10 by 10 easy up, a 6-foot folding table, a Coleman stove, and a pot, and that was it. And we'd go do chili contests and cook chili. And there's one every weekend somewhere around here. And we'd go do it and drink beer and cook chili and have a hell of a time. And we got to where, we were doing pretty good at it. We'd win some here, or not win, but we place top 3 or something here and there, win some trophies and whatnot. And then we started going to some of them that had barbecue, had barbecue also. And we'd all grown up. I grew up in South Texas, and we all grew up barbecuing. Dad's barbecued, and every family function you're barbecuing. So we all did it, kind of just messing around at home. And when we saw that, when we were doing those chili contests, we said, man, we should build a pit. We should build a trailer and start doing these barbecue contests. So 2000 and, man, it's hard to remember when it was, but it's at least 10 years ago, probably 2010, 2011, we built out our first trailer. And we had a buddy of ours who's a welder build it, had an old farm trailer that we built it on. And I mean, this thing leaked smoke. It was hot as hell when you're up in that trailer. And it looked like, we called it the porta potty on wheels. It looked like shit going down the road. But it cooked good meat. It cooked good meat, man. But it was compared to what we have now, it was a total piece of crap. But we knew how to cook on it, and it was good. We started doing barbecue contests, and we started doing pretty good. We win some here and there, and place high. If you place top 10 in any barbecue contest, you're doing damn good.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
And so we started doing that, and little contests around this area. And then probably 2014, 15, we got involved at the World's Championship barbecue cook-off at the Houston Rodeo. That was our first year to get to cook there. Some older guys that we knew had been cooking out there forever. And that's for those that don't know, that's the Mardi Gras of Houston. It is 600,000 people over a 3-day period. It is a party.
I think that's a great way to describe it.
And it's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday event for the guests. For us, when we get there as cook teams, so like I said, a group of older gentlemen that we knew had been cooking in it for years. they decided they wanted to kind of step back. And so they said, hey, do y'all want to come in and cook in our spot? And we said, hell yeah, that's an opportunity you jump at. There's a 15-year waiting list to get a spot out there.
Oh, wow.
So we jumped at that opportunity to get a spot, and we did that, and we cooked with them for several years. Then we joined forces with the team that was next door to us and grew that to 2 spots. So each spot is 40 by 40 out there. So then we joined forces with the folks next to us after 2 or 3 years that we knew. It's some guys that we knew that we grew up with. And we joined with them, and we had a 40 by 80 spot. So that's a pretty good size spot to throw a party. So we did that for several years. And then this past year, we got the opportunity, got asked to take over a spot that is 3 spots. So it's 40 by 120. So we have a massive tent now. We feed about 1,200 people a night, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And we have live music every night. This year we had Matt Caldwell, who's a local guy out of New Braunfels. He's written some #1 songs on the Texas charts. Most people don't know his name, but you know some songs he's written. He's a good friend of ours. He's just a member of the team now. He goes wherever we go. And so he plays every night for us. He opens every night for us. We had Shaker Hymns on Thursday night, who's another up-and-coming band that you should check out. They're badass. They're out of San Marcos. We had Cody Canada play on Friday night.
Okay, yeah.
And then Saturday night, we had a band that was going to be really cool called Refried Dreams, booked, who plays all 90s country music. It's a bunch of supporting characters. Like George Strait's fiddle player and the Brothers Osborne's guitar player, a bunch of Nashville players.
What?
Yeah. And
holy cow.
It's all these Nashville players that when they're not down on the road with their main act, they play in this band called Refried Dreams. It's just 90s country. And we were so looking forward to it, and they had to cancel last minute. So we got stuck with some guy. I don't even know who it was. It was not that great. It was not the way Saturday night should have ended up. But anyway.
Or whatever.
What I'm saying is that's a huge deal for us. And the Houston Cook-Off, it's all corporate sponsorships and stuff like that. In 3 days, we spend about $200,000 on that deal in our spot.
What?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
And the way that works, it's all, and we're not the exception out there. That's going on. There's 200 something teams out there. It's a huge deal.
Wow. Is this the expectation at that event?
Yeah. I mean,
like everybody better bring this kind of.
It's, people for a month leading up to that are looking, hey, you got wristbands to a tent. You got wristbands to a tent. Hey, can I get in here? Can I get in there? Because every tent's got different bands playing every night. There's some good damn music being played out there.
I can only imagine.
So last week in February every year, we'll do a podcast from the tent during the day.
There you go. There it is. We will be doing that.
And it's awesome. But so that's a big cook-off for us. It's a huge cook-off for us. So we started doing that, and we've done all right out there. We've gotten to the big stage once. We got 3rd place Dutch oven dessert one year.
Okay.
And then the next year we got 4th place Dutch oven dessert. I think best we've done in the meat category is we got 11th place a couple years ago in ribs, which there's nothing worse than 11th place. I'd rather be last place. 11th,
You don't even make the show. Top 10.
Top 10, you get to go to the big stage at the Houston Rodeo.
Right.
11th place, you may as well be last. That's just a kick. That's a kick in the nuts.
It really is.
So that's a big one for us. And we've done San Antonio Rodeo, which actually people think Houston's the biggest. The cook-off of the San Antonio Rodeo is the largest cook-off in the state of Texas.
Really?
Teams-wise, numbers-wise. And it is 100% my favorite cook-off I've ever done every year.
Where do they do that at? Where's the San Antonio one held?
They have an off-site. So the San Antonio Rodeo is held at the AT&T Center where the Spurs play.
Right.
But the cook-off is off-site. The San Antonio Livestock Show and Rodeo owns a bunch of property just a few miles from AT&T Center. It's in the middle of nowhere. And that's where that takes place. But it's the biggest cook-off numbers-wise in the state of Texas. I think it's the best run cook-off. and it's my favorite cook-off to cook at. Man, we've got banners all over the place from that day. We've walked away with a lot of hardware, several checks. We've done well out there.
That's fantastic. When does that usually take place?
That is usually the last weekend of January.
So that warms you up going into Houston.
That warms us up, and it's a different monster for us.
Sure.
San Antonio, when we go to San Antonio, I mean, we have a good time. We have a good time everywhere we go.
Oh, yeah.
But at San Antonio, we are there to cook and compete.
You want hardware. You're there to win.
At Houston, we're there to put on a party and make our corporate sponsors happy. So it's a different animal.
You're no longer 100% just focused on cooking.
No, and that's how Houston is, and that's why Houston, every cook-off is a crapshoot. Every cook-off is a crapshoot. You never know if the judges want sweet, if they want spicy. You don't know what they want. It's different everywhere you go. Now, there's trends, and we can talk about that in a little bit. There's trends for sure.
Yeah.
Houston it's its own animal. It's not sanctioned by any of the you hear about KCBS, which is a big sanctioning body.
Sure.
IBCA is a big one around here. There's several of them that are big sanctioning bodies. Houston does not have a sanctioning body, so it's kind of a free for all.
Huh.
The judging is different than anywhere else. It's to me, that's the ultimate crapshoot is Houston.
You can't give a flavor profile to a judge if you have no clue what they're gonna. You just gotta.
That's right.
Cook what you know, cook what you like, and what's worked.
That's right. So San Antonio is run by IBCA, which is we do a lot of IBCA cooks. So we kind of know what they're looking for a little bit. We know the trends in that over the years. We know what they're looking for. We've done well out there. We've won, top 10 in brisket. We've won top 10 in ribs. We've won first place in steak. We won first place in beans. We won first place in dessert at San Antonio. This past year, another 11th. We got 11th place in steak this year at San Antonio, which is another kick in the nuts.
Yeah.
But still, hey, 11th place out of 275 teams is not a bad place to be.
No, it really isn't, man. Not at all.
It's they read the top 10. You're disappointed you're not in that, and then they'll read the final table, and you're number 11. It's like, oh my God, we were that close. What did we do? What could have been done better that was that close? It's all about, especially at a cook-off that big. There's multiple judging tables. It's about getting on the right table.
Right. Yeah.
You don't know. And this goes back to the flavor profiles. You don't know. So I mentioned the trends. So several years ago, I'd say 5+ years ago, the trends, especially on ribs, was sweet, very sweet. You put honey and brown sugar and all this stuff when you wrap your ribs and make them just sweet as candy.
Sure.
And that's we won a lot of ribs with that. And then the past probably 3 years, we couldn't win. And we don't do enough of them every year. We've gotten to where all my guys that I cook with, we've all got kids playing baseball now and stuff. So we don't have the time to do as many cook-offs as we used to. We have Houston, we have San Antonio, we have, a handful of ones that we do every year that we like to do, but not like we used to. We used to do a lot more.
Right.
So it's hard to keep track of the trends. So we started just getting skunked in ribs, and we didn't understand what was going on. We started talking to people, and they said, "Man, you can't do sweet ribs." So what do you mean you can't do sweet ribs? We won for years with that. I said, "No, man, you can't do that anymore." So, okay. So this past year, we started doing a more just a savory, salt, pepper, some other spices, some of our rubs on it, but nothing, not real sweet. And we're back to winning with it.
Wow.
And it's crazy. And we got first place in ribs about a month ago out of 175 teams, which is a big cook-off. We got first place ribs in that, and doing it. Can't have sweet ribs anymore, but it's trends, man. You don't know where it's going unless you do it a lot, and you got to talk to people that do it every weekend.
That's very interesting because, the honey for the money and all of that is, and they're delicious as you know.
That's right.
But I've even me with the way that I cook my ribs, I've moved to more of, and look, we can get into this, your thoughts on pellet grills. I have a pellet grill. I have a cheater, an easy bake oven, whatever the hell you.
So do I.
There you go. You know as well as I do just how good a pellet grill will make ribs.
I'd venture to say I've got more barbecue cooking apparatuses at my disposal than anybody listening to this podcast.
I would say that is a correct assessment.
We are sponsored by Traeger.
Nice.
And I have a Traeger sitting on my back patio. I have a Traeger in our warehouse that we cook on. We have Traegers that we now take to competitions with us as well, because that's now allowed. Ribs especially, I don't think there's any difference. It's just too damn easy. If I'm cooking a brisket at home, it's just too damn easy to let it cook overnight on that Traeger.
Isn't it? I mean, and it just comes out just right every single time.
I've got some badass high dollar barbecue pits on trailers. I've got some badass rigs. Sometimes it's nice just to push that button and let it roll.
And get very, very similar results.
I agree on ribs, especially on, if we want to talk brisket or pork or beef ribs, I think you're getting a better smoke on the, I'd rather cook those on an offset burner.
With those pits, pellet grills especially, what I find, briskets, beef, as you said, it doesn't get enough smoke.
No, I don't think it gets enough. I don't think it gets enough smoke, and I don't think you can develop the same kind of bark that you do on a traditional offset smoker.
I agree. So I found a way to fix that.
What you got?
This is how I do it. So I got a little meatloaf pan, drilled holes in it so it could get airflow. Whenever I put my brisket on to begin with, I first light my little tray with post oak chunks.
I'm a post oak guy.
Yeah. I figured as much, but I'll get that seems to really give my briskets that I smoke on the pellet grill just an absolute different flavor profile than if I just go B&B post oak pellets, because they're the only ones that I've found that make post oak pellets.
Yep.
But if I add that little tray with actual real wood chunks, and I'll let them solder down, add a couple chunks, put it back on the Rectech. But that has really, really added that extra smoke. Now, does it give me as much smoke as a stick burner? No.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. But it takes me from really good with the pellet grill to just shy of amazing by adding that little extra thing that I do.
Here's what I'll say. You can cook a brisket on a pellet grill and it tastes plenty damn good for any family outing or barbecue in your backyard you're ever going to do.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to cook the best brisket I can, it's going to be on an offset smoker. Competition or serving to a high-end client, or, a catering to a high-end client or something, putting my best foot forward, it's going to be on an offset smoker.
How big is your rig that you like to use? The one that, like, if your catering rig. Let's go. You have multiples. Let's go with your catering rig.
So right now we've got 4 different rigs. We've got one that we built in 2017, which has been our main competition cooker and catering cooker, built by Pitmaker up in Humble, I guess now northeast of Houston. We have pushed, I don't know how many tens of thousands of pounds of meat through that thing. We have cooked so much on that thing. The main thing we cook on is a Pitmaker Magnum Sniper.
Okay.
That's the name of the pit. And it's a badass pit. It's an offset smoker, insulated firebox. We can fit, I think we put 40 pork butts on there one time. It's a pretty good size.
Okay. Wow.
And it's about as set it and forget it as you can possibly get with a offset smoker. We've got it, I've cooked on it a ton.
Right.
And I've got it to where I can start the fire in it, and once I get it up to temperature and where I want it, I know right where I want it. I cook it 275 degrees, pretty much everything I cook. I'll burn through 2 logs every 2 hours.
You've got it to a science. So
I can go to sleep for 2 hours and set my alarm and come out and put 2 more logs on. I know it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
It's going to sit right at 275. So it's super badass. We have, like I said, that thing has had more meat pushed through it than most barbecue pits out there, other than commercial restaurants.
Did they engineer it to draft in this way to draw in just the right amount of smoke to burn the wood? I mean, how do you get to that? How do you get to that point? How do you know that kind of stuff?
I don't know. So the guys that started that company, they used to work for Pits and Spits, which is a very famous pit maker out of Houston.
Yeah.
So they worked for them years ago and split off and started their own thing. So they've been in the business of building pits for a long time. They know the science behind it. And they just build a hell of a pit. So that's one of them. We've got our newest one, which is a big, beautiful old propane tank.
Oh, yeah.
500-gallon propane tank, which will fit just a ton of meat on it. I haven't maxed that one out yet, but you can fit a ton of meat on that thing. And it is absolutely beautiful. That was built by a guy named Big Phil Smokers out of just east of Dallas, going towards Tyler. I can't remember the name of the little town, but Big Phil Smokers.
Okay.
That thing is awesome. That thing's awesome. Runs super efficient for as big as it is. Runs super even, which is awesome across it's got upper racks, lower racks. The temperature is super even across it. And it's just, that thing's badass. So we've got those two. We've got one built by East Texas Smokers in Tyler. It's probably a 250-gallon smoker. And it's nice. It runs real well. And then we just bought a couple months ago a big enclosed air-conditioned competition trailer that has a Jambo pit built by Jamie Greer up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area on the back of that. And so that thing, we cooked on that all day today. That's a nice fit.
I've seen y'all's social media pictures of that thing. It's freaking amazing, man. It's amazing. By the way, how can everybody interact with you guys on social media, websites? Where can they find you?
Facebook and Instagram. We've got JBarJ BBQ, and then JBarJ Sauce and Spice Company. And our website is jbjsauce.com.
How did you come up with this name? Where did JBarJ come from?
So we started doing more and more competitions. And over the years, we started picking up little catering jobs here and there. And all these years we were playing around with sauces and rubs, making our own stuff, making our own creations. Amber has a sauce that she's been making for 15 years now. So probably a year and a half ago now, me and one of my partners I've been cooking with for a long time decided, hey, let's make a run at this thing. Let's commercially produce this. Let's get out there and start selling this stuff. So my name's JD. His name is Jeremy. That's the two J's, JBarJ Sauce and Spice. And then we have a third partner as well, named Alex Wilson. Was a Aggie baseball player, pitched in the major leagues for a number of years, played for the Detroit Tigers, mainly for the Tigers, and has retired a few years ago and lives in College Station. Those are my two partners in the business. And he was just he threw out the first pitch Friday night in Detroit this past Friday. He was up there for Miggy's 3,000 hit celebration.
Oh, nice.
They brought him back. He threw out the first pitch, and I think he pitched in something like 247 games for the Tigers or 267 games for the Tigers as a relief pitcher. So he had a pretty good career up there.
Yeah, for sure.
But, so he's one of my partners in the business. And so we started producing, we started doing more and more catering. And then we started producing these rubs and sauces. We started with 2 rubs, 2 sauces. And it was quite a journey to get the first round done, creating, it's not like when you're cooking it on the stove at your house, you got to make it shelf stable. We go to a co-packer and say, hey, here's our recipes. Send us what you can do. So they send us back a sample. We say, hey, man, that's just not quite right. We need to add a little more pepper, a little more garlic, a little more this, a little more that. You go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
Right. And
eventually get the recipe right where you want it. Right how it tasted when we make it in our kitchen.
It's an expensive way to get to that, isn't it?
It's not super cheap, no. But it's the right way to do it. If you really believe in it and you want to make it a sustainable business, that's the right way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we deal with Reed Foods out of Jackson, Mississippi. And they are absolutely wonderful to deal with. Wonderful. I can't say enough good things about them. And so we started producing that. We got our labels where we wanted them and started producing all that and took it to market and launched it August of last year, I guess. Launched that online. So we have our online presence, and then we're in some small meat markets around Texas, around South Texas, Central Texas area that sell it. And we've done well. I mean, every day, picking up momentum every day, people selling that. So that's the sauce business.
Yeah.
And then, so in the catering business, so like I said, my partner, Alex Wilson, played Major League Baseball. He's friends with, came up through minor leagues and stuff with Ryan Presley, the closer for the Astros.
Okay, yeah.
Presley is a buddy of ours. We've gone hunting with him and stuff like that. So he's had us come in and cater the Astros post-game meals several times. So we were doing that. And I could look on my phone, give you the exact date, but it was August sometime, beginning of August last year. Alex Bregman was down at AAA in Sugar Land on a rehab assignment when his leg was hurt. And so it's customary for the big league guys to buy dinner for the whole team when they're down. And so the nutritionist, that's who we deal with when we do the catering, is the nutritionist. She calls us, and it's like 3:00 on a Friday afternoon. Says, "Hey, Bregman's supposed to buy dinner for the team tonight, and they want barbecue, and we kind of forgot about it. Can y'all do it?" And we said, "Well," so we can do something. I don't know. We can't do, we're not going to be able to do a brisket. It's already 3:00 in the afternoon.
Right. We're limited.
But we can throw something together. And she's like, "All right, let's do it." I said, "All right." So, man, we called 4 or 5 of our guys and we started scrambling. One guy going this direction, one guy going this direction, picking up meat, picking up the pit, picking up wood. I mean, it was a mad dash. So we pull up to the stadium. We ended up doing prime beef tenderloin, which is just one of my absolute favorite things to cook in the world.
Yeah.
And you can do it fast. You can cook it in an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it's phenomenal. So we decided on that. We said, we'll give them something that's delicious. So we did that, and I don't even remember what, potato salad and green beans and shit. I don't remember what all it was. Elote corn and something, I don't know. So anyway, we put together a really good meal in a really quick amount of time. And so all the players come out and eat, and they're all, "Oh, this is wonderful. This is phenomenal, yada, yada." Bregman comes out and he's going through the line. He looks straight at me and he says, "No brisket?" And I looked straight at him and I said, "Man, you called us at 3:00 this afternoon. There's no way on earth I'm getting you brisket." He said, "I really want brisket." I said, "All right." I said, "You going to be down here playing still on Sunday?" He said, "Yeah, I'll be here." He said, "I got a bunch of family in town." I said, "All right, I'm going to bring you a package on Sunday to the stadium." I said, "Okay." So that I went to work, man, and I put together the most beautiful, comprehensive barbecue tray I've ever put together in my life. And we're talking spare ribs, beef ribs, pork belly burn-ins, brisket, elote corn, German potatoes, barbecue green beans. I don't remember what all was on it. It was a beautiful tray of food. And I delivered it to him at the stadium that day. And that was on a Sunday. I think on a Tuesday that next week we were catering the Astros. And so we're at Minute Maid Park catering the Astros, and he'd been called back up, finished his rehab assignment, and went back up. He comes out. He already had his Breggy Bomb line of sauce out and had done well with that. He comes out outside in the parking lot where we're at, and he says, "Man," and we kind of knew this was going to happen. So we had everything ready to go. He said, "I'm looking to kind of expand what I'm doing in the Breggy Bomb area. Let's talk. What do y'all have?" And so we gave him samples of everything that we had, every product we had on the market at that point. And he says, "All right, that's good. That's good. All right." Next day he calls and says, "Hey," they had a off day on that Thursday, I think, if I remember correctly. And he says, "Be in my house, bring the rig, be in my house, cook dinner for me and all my boys on Thursday, and let's talk." I said, "Okay." So we show up to Bregman's house on Thursday, and we put together a hell of a meal for him. And it's him, probably 6 of his buddies that hang out with him, his wife, their wives, put on a hell of a meal for him, and ended up sitting around his kitchen table or his dining room table for probably 3 hours talking shop about what we can do and what our possibilities are, what he wants to do. And our visions all kind of lined up. We all had the same ideas. So it started growing from there. From there, we went in and we formed a new company, our company and his company. That's where we're at, the Breggy Bomb thing. We're having an official launch party for that, July 2nd. Saturday game, 3:10 game for the Astros against the Angels. We're doing a big party, pregame and postgame at the Little Woodrow's. They're close to the stadium, which is a bar. We're going to have samples and buys. We got Carbach is a big sponsor of ours, the beer company, so they're involved. We're going to launch everything then. That's when online sales for all that's going live.
Okay.
We're going into Kroger's. We're going into Rouse's in Louisiana.
Nice.
Going into HEB here in Texas. We're super excited about that. We're going in under Breggy Bomb. We've got 3 rubs. We've got a kind of all-around meat rub. It's called the El Jefe. It's great on beef. Steaks, it's phenomenal on steaks, man. We've done We've won multiple steak cooking competitions with that rub, nothing but that rub on our steaks. We've got that. We've got one called the Brush Dust, which is it's different, man. It's not like anything anybody's ever had. It's definitely different than anything on the market. It's great on. We use a lot on fish. We use a lot on chicken. It's great on pork chops. And then we have a fajita rub as well. And then our 2 sauces coming out. We have the swamp sauce and then the original barbecue sauce. The original barbecue sauce is kind of a Carolina vinegar, tomato-based sauce. The swamp sauce is it's a little thicker, got some more smoke to it, a little bit of citrus in it. It's really good.
Yeah.
Those 5 products are what we're going to market with under the Breggy Bomb label, as well as the salsa. And there's the regular salsa and then the hot salsa. And then, man, we got a ton of stuff in the works. We've got 5 or 6 other products ready to go, just waiting to pull the trigger on them. So it's exciting times, and we think we're, once we go, we're going to go fast.
I'm very happy to know that I can get it at Rouse's.
You can get the hot sauces or the salsas at Rouse's already. We're working on the barbecue stuff. We are now going into Minute Maid Park as the official barbecue sauce of Minute Maid Park with Astros play.
Excellent.
And we are definitely planning, a y'all's first game is this Sunday of Labor Day in New Orleans, correct?
Yeah, playing Florida State. That's right.
Playing Florida State. I think we are coming over and bringing the whole Breggy Bomb crew and trailers and everything and putting on a big ass tailgate party.
Yes.
That's our plan right now. We did it at the bowl game this past year here in Houston. We put on a big Breggy Bomb tailgate.
Right.
And we're planning on doing the same thing in New Orleans in September.
Oh, God, I can't wait. How the hell did I miss you when y'all catered the LSU Tigers in Houston whenever they played in the Shriners Classic?
We had a hell of a party that day. I don't know. So they told us, Bregman's people told us to cook for 300, I think. And so we cooked for 300, and my God, we had over 1,000 people there. easily a party. We were in the blue lot right outside the stadium. We had a hell of a party. It was a hell of a good time. We're good at a few things. We're good at cooking. We're good at throwing parties. We're good at both of those.
This sounds a lot like a Louisiana person, I mean, I think that's why there's a lot of mutual love between Texas and Louisiana. There's just a lot of mutual respect. There is for me anyhow, man. I love all of my people from Texas.
There's so many of y'all over here. It's especially around the Houston area. It's nuts. That's the barbecue story.
That's incredible. How it begins with a chili.
Yeah.
And here we are bringing out one of the best players in Major League Baseball.
Yep.
He's getting into sauces, rubs, salsa, and other things. And I mean, I believe, it's just a personal opinion here, JD, but I really do believe that Alex Bregman picked the right partners to do this with because of. And I seriously mean that. I know your passion of life. I don't know the other guys that you work with, but I know that you wouldn't be surrounding yourself with other people if they weren't of like mind. It's an incredible story that the perseverance, and at the end of the day, you never compromised on your flavor, the product you were wanting to put out, and you weren't just going to sell garbage.
That's right. I mean, like I said, we've worked years on these recipes, and I'll stand behind them. They're as good as anything on the market.
Right.
And we don't get negative feedback on anything. And so when we started talking to Bregman about it, he knew he wanted to go in that direction, and he had tried a few other products that he just didn't think were right. And he tried ours and said, "This is it, boys. Let's go." From day one, he's an intense guy, man. He's a professional athlete. He's an intense guy. He's a competitor. He wants to go. He wants to take over. He wants to dominate in everything he does, not just baseball, but everything he does. Hell of a good guy. But he is an intense competitor. And to be a professional athlete, you have to be.
You have to be, man. You don't get to that level at all if you're not. But you know what, JD? You're the same way with barbecue.
100%.
And so is your team.
100%.
You're the same way. That professionalism, you're not going to sleep. You want to get better every single day. You know you can get better. You can do this. You can do that. That eats at you.
That's right.
it makes you get better.
That's right.
And I mean, you're a professional. I mean, all of you guys are. It's the same thing. So I see how that marriage could happen. It's like-minded visions with like-minded people.
So we're excited. Our deal right now is the name will get people to buy the product once. The quality of the product will keep them coming back.
That's exactly right.
So, and we have 100% faith in that. We stand behind our products and we know they're good products, as good as anything on the market. So our July 2nd, we're officially launching that, and that'll be on the breggybomb.com, the Breggy Bomb website. Everything will be available online. Shortly after that, we'll be going into Kroger's, H-E-B's, working on Rouse's. So it'll be available. And like I said, we're starting with 5 products, and we got a brisket rub that we're working on. They're not working on. It's done. It's ready to go. We got a Cajun shake that's ready to go. We got a Worcestershire sauce that's ready to go.
What?
I mean, we got turkey injections and rubs for frying turkeys that's ready to go next Thanksgiving. We got a ton of stuff that we've worked on. It's ready to go. We just got to turn it on and say go.
Oh, man. Well, starting on July 2nd, that first wave of products will be turned on, and you'll be able to purchase them at Kroger, Rouse's in Louisiana, H-E-B's in Texas, and of course, you can get them online. Make a request from your favorite store to have them to start carrying it if they are not already. They are all absolutely fantastic products, and they'll make you look like a hero when you barbecue. So, thanks again to JD for coming on to the show. I look forward to doing some future podcasts with him at the Houston Rodeo and at some LSU tailgates. I'm holding him to it. So until next time, go Stros and go Tigers.